Welcome to what is possibly the first and only edition of Cooking at the Chateau with Rory. I'm here with my youngest niece, Jeannie, and Jeannie's very good at baking, so she is going to teach me how to bake a cake using this wonderful item that Jane had found, and yeah, we're going to put it to good use and see if we can make a lovely marble cake. Something that I've never made before, but I have eaten before.
With the cake, you start with the wet ingredients like the butter, and you mix it with the sugar. So you have to weigh them out. Actually,
Way!
need the
Not
eggs
that kind of way.
first.
Eggs first.
Yeah.
So we put that on there? No?
Just gotta weigh the eggs.
182 grams.
So we're doing 182 grams of butter, sugar, and flour. Yeah.
182 grams of butter.
Back to, yeah, there we go.
Oh, it's going to be quite a lot of butter then.
Yes, because it's one of the main wet ingredients other than the eggs, and they're the main binding agents.
Right.
And then this is the first one, so you just mix them, beat them together.
Beat them up
Yeah.
in the mixer. So I'm liberally rubbing butter.
You want it to be a good layer because it'll stick very easily.
Is that enough butter in there?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, that is that much butter.
Because it's a marble cake, we're doing half vanilla, half cocoa, but even when making a chocolate cake, you want to put vanilla extract in it just to give it that extra flavour.
And at what point do we add the rum? It was official. I hadn't managed to get the extra step put back in place before my sister arrived, but it was fine because she was willing to lend a hand. I've built this frame for the next step down, so we're going to see if we can get that next step in and screwed together so that then my nieces, Amelia and Jeannie, would technically be able to use the stairs with one step missing. If we can get one extra in, it's not too big of a leap to climb over one step. I had already repaired the worst of the damage with wood filler, but wanted to screw the two sections of the step surface together for added strength. So this Franken step is going back in. Oh, it's heavy. I've got to get it. Right, so that's in position. Spirit level. That's within the lines. It's not absolutely perfect, but we don't need to spend it. We don't need to spend it. Oh, I'm going to do some contorting to get under there. I don't know how my back's going to cope with it. Or how I'm going to cope with the spending. The dust was really getting in my eyes, and all I could find was reading glasses. Move over, Clark Kent.
sorry, yes.
I use this, hopefully this will stop me pressing the wood.
Okay.
Okay. So much dust in my face. And in my mouth. Woodworm poo. Right. Oh, this tastes horrible. I don't know why I've got these on, they're reading glasses. For right now, these. See, it does wobble a bit, but then it's going to wobble because it's not got its step in front of it. And also there'll be the wooden cover. This piece here goes in and sort of locks them all into place. Ugh. So we're not doing too badly. I might leave it there for now. Welcome to Jane's Find of the Day with Jane.
Hello and welcome to this week's Find of the Day at Chateau. Today I'm going to be talking about this. We've very fortunately been left at least a dozen of these in all different designs, colours, shapes and sizes. And this one isn't by any means the most fantastically beautiful. I just sort of picked this one at random. Partly though because on its reverse side, it very clearly says made in Italy, and also it says Florence, and it has a design which I have learned is the flag or coat of arms, if you like, of Florence. So if you see that design, that symbol, then again, that's indication of something made in Florence. So things like this, I believe, have been made in Florence for hundreds of years, dating back to the 13th or 14th centuries. And I think the manufacturing principle, the craft, is still pretty much the same. Although I think originally the designs were entirely hand painted, so they would have taken a long time and maybe depicted painting, so a landscape or some fruit or people going on a picnic or something like a small painting basically in the middle of the tray. This one isn't that. I believe this design has been stamped into the wood. So made of wood, I believe they're made of black poplar. And then it's been painted. Some of them have got gold leaf on. I don't think this one does. I think this is gold paint. But it's such a lavish visual treat, and yet it's also practical. When I first picked these up, I didn't know how robust they were, but this one had a small red wine stain on it. I just got a sponge, wiped it off really easily. So the way these are made with lots of layers of lacquer means they are actually quite practical, quite usable. But at the same time, they give a sumptuousness to wherever you put them. So you can put them over a mantelpiece or on a table. You can obviously use them as a tray. And they're just gorgeous. So we're very lucky to have so many of them.
Now we do the dry ingredients whilst that's beating, because you're going to want to add them quite quickly.
Or does it all just go in together, or? Oops, is that a bit more?
It's fine, yeah.
Is this 182 as well?
Mm-hmm. I'm done with these.
And scrape this off?
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to slowly add the eggs one by one, and whilst we add the eggs, we'll add spoonfuls of the flour and the dry mix.
So this oven came with the Chateau. It's been in this position for about 30 years, and It's in perfect working order. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And so we have preheated this oven to number 4, or is it number 5? Anyway, that's the heat settings, 1 to 10. But we think we've got the temperature right for baking. But if I tasted this, would it be really, really bitter if it's just cocoa powder?
Yes, it's got no added sugar in, so it's just
Okay.
cocoa powder or cacao powder, depending on.
Oh yes, cacao en poudre. I'm guessing it's frowned upon to lick spoons.
Well, yes, when you're baking for other people, but when you're baking just for yourself, it don't really matter. In a professional setting, you wouldn't allow to have your pets in the kitchen, or you'd have to have your hair tied back, and it wouldn't be very wise to have painted nails, which I have.
Yeah, and definitely no picking your nose.
Yeah. Do you want to pour some cocoa powder into this bowl?
This one. You tell me when.
Okay.
Ooh, it's quite a lot, isn't it? Do we need to sieve it?
I never do.
Is this the exciting bit where we start putting it in?
Yes. So got these teaspoons, and what you want to do is you want to put it in a checkered pattern. So you want to put 1 dollop in, and then of the vanilla, then a dollop in of the chocolate next to it.
So we just need to have a look at that, and I mean it's still quite liquidy.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not like a bread dough or anything like that. That needs to be firm. It needs to be quite liquidy, so you can actually do the swirls.
Yeah.
With the skewer. So get your teaspoons, and then
eat. No.
And you're going to get 1 teaspoon and get a spoonful, put it in, and then use the other teaspoon to
And where am I putting it?
put next to
Next to that. So that's the first layer done. And what, we just do the same?
Yes, but the vanilla goes over the chocolate, and the
Okay,
chocolate goes over
right.
the vanilla.
Of course.
So I usually do this as well. And then that should be enough.
Oh, that looks quite nice.
Yes, that's usually about enough. I'd be, careful, put it in.
Some of you will remember that Rory had previously demolished most of the back kitchen. The cupboards were very damp and were encased in reinforced concrete. We'd cleared away mountains of rubble, but now it was time to finish the job. We need to complete the back kitchen before we can start work renovating the main kitchen. The tiles weren't awful, so some of them were salvaged, but we needed a clean slate to start from.
Because there are no free lunches, I set my brother-in-law David to work removing the old wall tiles. Meanwhile, I was making an unfortunate discovery on the stairs. So, the steps, which are that thick, this one is no different, except here where the rot has been really bad. It's about that thick, and it's not safe enough to be stepped on because I could break through it by hand. It's soft there as well, so I might have to cut a whole section out and replace that whole bit. I don't want to have to do that, but there's just too much gone for me to try and keep packing in wood filler, and there's no guarantee that it will adhere to this because it's dusty and soft. In no time at all, this wall was cleared and David was on to the next one. Just one. To remove the plinths, we first needed to remove the remains of the brick dividing walls. This would make trying to lever them up that much easier. The first one came out so fast we forgot to film it. The moment that perhaps none of you have been waiting for.
So in terms of what this particular one is worth, they are readily available. If you go looking for vintage Florence trays, they're relatively abundant. You won't have any difficulty finding them. And even brand new ones are not that expensive. So, you know, sometimes vintage things are worth more, sometimes it's the other way around. But you can buy a handcrafted item like this with gold leaf, and probably more extravagant than this one, I think, for less than $100. This one, I mean, yes, it is vintage. I don't know how old it is. It could be from the 1960s. It could be from the 1990s. I have no idea. I think you will have some people asking, you know, €50 for it. Some people might ask less. And we've got, you know, quite a lot of them. But irrespective of that, they're just such an easy way to make a room look a bit grander and a bit more sumptuous. So yeah, really delighted to have them.
I'm going to see if I can just show it to this camera a little bit.
Okay.
There it is. Small but perfectly formed.
Looks gorgeous.
Smells gorgeous. And now we continue to wait because we're not allowed to touch it. And it's mostly out.
There's always danger of using.
Look at that. Yeah, but hang on. If I can get that bit out and put it back on. A perfect cake.
You're gonna have to butter the bottom a bit more next time.
Next time, viewers, ensure that you have buttered your bottom. A marvellous success. Well done, Jeannie. And because we made it, we get to try it first. So this cake tin that is God knows how many years old and dripping crumbs everywhere has been used again for the first time in probably 30 odd years, maybe. Tasty? Happy?
Definitely.
I'm happy. Join us next time when we eat more cake and bake more cake. This is my second go at a lemon drizzle cake. And just have a look at that. It has come out wonderfully. The first one I did, I didn't use the paper, the baking paper. And whilst I did get it all out, it came out in 3 pieces. So I've now tried with the baking paper, and I might not get the fluting, or the whatever you call the shape of it, but I'm hoping it should all just come out a little easier this time, which I'll be happy about. It's all about the taste, darling. So now I've just got to lift it out without it collapsing. Ooh, oh, that was nice and easy. Oh, look! It's got the shape of the tin in it. On it. That's marvellous. Oh, I'm super impressed. I did a good thing, look.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to find out what we do next.